cutting costs, reducing waste, and spending wisely. One other major problem that has brought us to this point is the reckless and frivolous spending of our scarce natural resources. A fundamental principle in economic management is fiscal discipline in times of crisis. It is simply not possible to live beyond our means and avoid the kind of economic turnout that we currently find ourselves in today. Rampant overexpenditure is reflected in the extraordinary large budget deficits of the last 2 years, which is set to persist for a third straight year if urgent cost-cutting measures are not taken. As noted again by Dr. Forson in his presentation, government will have to cut expenditure by up to 4% of GDP to create the fiscal space desired to get out of this economic crisis. Now note this, the minister in his media budget statement announced a 30% cut in expenditure across board. It appears that this cut is not working, as government expenditure in the first half of the year appears to have significantly exceeded the budget. The minister, rather than a vague reference to percentage cuts, must be specific in what areas these expenditures are to be cut. This will give a clearer picture of the expenditure reduction and how much will be saved from that directive. Drastic action must therefore be taken to reverse the cycle and bring public expenditure within acceptable and prudent levels. Let me propose some measures on how governments can cut costs. One is the size of government. A big contributor to the excessive public expenditure is the sheer size of government. President Akufo-Addo has been particularly irresponsible in keeping a needlessly large government. At a point, we had over 120 ministers in his government, with hundreds of political appointees at the presidency and others attached to ministers and other state organizations. While the president has currently cut down this number, the number of ministers has reduced in his second term, there's still room for a further reduction, including merging some ministries to reduce expenditure and cut down the ministers in government to a figure below 65. It's also necessary to trim the large number of political appointees who have sought refuge in the Flagstaff House. This will reflect the necessities of the time and the need for modesty and prudence. Secretariats and agencies. There are also too many agencies created overnight by this government without any functional necessity that need to be scrapped or merged for efficiency to ensure savings to the public purse. For instance, we have a free SHS secretariat. Meanwhile, the Ghana Education Service has adequate capacity to handle the implementation of the free SHS policy without the wasteful existence of another secretariat. Again, why create and staff a one district, one factory secretariat with new project vehicles and other cost items when the Ministry of Trade and Industry has an industrial development unit that is well placed to enhance the industrialization policy of government? the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, the National Employment Agency, MASLOC, Ghana Enterprise Agency, and the many other agencies could be merged into one entity under the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Labor Relations.